All right, this your boy Mullah. This week got that five man. We here with Nick Wrong that always think he right. What you got to say about them Brooklyn Nets, Mr. Wrong?
Played 46 minutes.
46.
Clearly limited by the hammy and the fact that he played 46 minutes. Just 1 for 10 from the field, 0 for 8 from 3. Here was Harden after the game.
Why was it so important to you, in your own words, to push through and to play tonight?
It's the playoffs. What the hell you mean?
It's the playoffs. And
Duh.
my team needed me. Simple.
Simple. Don't ask me no
All of us
dumb
felt
questions.
like, first we, wanted him to be healthy and make sure this is the right decision for him. But once he got out there and tested it out,
He still has 6
we were all happy
rebounds
for
and
him.
8
And that would
assists.
give us an extra spark. So, it was one of those performances from James that, in the stat sheet, it may not look like it was great, but just his energy, his talk,
presence.
his communication throughout the whole game was just on point. So I'm glad he was out there with us and can't wait for Game 6.
A little rust,
Stack, I thought KD's answer was fascinating. That it wasn't about the stat sheet, it was about energy and confidence.
Yeah.
What'd you make of Steve Nash's decision to play Harden so much last night, 46 minutes?
It was smart, Wiles. To have your other star out there, another vocal guy. Regardless, we all knew he wasn't going to be 110%. We didn't know what we was going to get for James, but the fact that he was out there, it gives the other players confidence. It takes a little pressure off these other guys. Hey, he had 5 points. So what? He had some great assists. He took a lot of pressure off KD when he didn't have to bring the ball up, and that's exactly what I said. Knowing the game, sometimes just having your best player out there is enough because you got guys out there that's healthy that didn't do what he did. Guys that can't hit shots. So just having him out there, you take that chance. And he was able to play 46 minutes and not get hurt, just like KD said. I can't wait for Game 6.
Yep. Let's go, B.
And
March.
also Stack Wilds. Look, I don't think Nash had he had a say in this matter. There's some players that just have the power. Some players have the personality where it's like, Coach, I'm playing regardless of what you say. He gets paid more than Nash. He has more power than Nash. So I'm sure that was the conversation because there's a lot of people like, why did Nash do this? I don't think he had a say in the matter. Look, we all know how important it is to have our stars out there. I thought that was the reason why they won. Now, he didn't impact the game on this, on the stat sheet in a major way, but having him out there on the court, having him on the sideline just suited up, meant everything. There were so many times where we walked in the locker room and our star guys were down and we're all warming up for the game like, oh, is he going to go? Is he not going to go? We're walking into the athletic training room, asking a physical therapist, the athletic trainers, what are you hearing about Jay Cutt? What are you hearing about Matt Forte? Are they suiting up or not? So many times I've been hurt, and it had been a game time decision. Walking in the locker room, and you feel all eyes on you. You see the athletic trainer surround you. You see the owner comes down from the owner box saying, "How are you doing? What are you thinking?" You go out there, you test it out, and everybody's around you, seeing you warm up to see if you're going to go. Last thing I got, Nick. We opened the stadium up in San Francisco, 49ers new stadium, Chicago Bears, Sunday Night Football. I just had a high ankle sprain, just hurt myself the week before. Knew I couldn't play. He told me 6 weeks. I told them make it a game time decision. I took a lot of pain pills before the game. Kids don't do that. But I went out there. I had 3 catches, 3 touchdowns. I was a super decoy. Now we got to the red zone. I was able to run 10 yards, catch the ball. But what happened was they double teamed me. They viced me in the red zone, which opened up the hole for Matt Forte. Martellus Bennett got a one-on-one matchup, and Alshon Jeffrey. So what James Harden was able to do out there was take pressure off the others.
And you still had to pay attention to James the whole night. You didn't know what he was going to do. You didn't know how healthy he was. Those guys were still hugging James. It gave KD more room to drive. 2003, Game 6, David Robinson. His back had basically gave out all year, the year he retired. But just him coming out and playing Game 6 gave us a lot of confidence to end that series. So when you have a player of the caliber of James Harden and David Robinson, long as they're on the court, it do more for the team than having them in street clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so all of that I buy and I understand. Can I ask Brandon a quick question?
Here we go, Nick
Brandon, that game you're talking about,
let me just get prepared for this mess you about to say, bro. All right. Go ahead, get it out. Just get it all out.
If you also, in addition to having to be a decoy on offense, if you had to line up and play corner, would you have been good at that?
Thank you.
Or would they have just annihilated you? Because I feel it is one thing, they would have destroyed you. Now, it's a little unfair because in football, you're not asked to do that. But we're only looking at one side of the ball because the Bucs, Steven, only made him play one side of the ball. Wild. Listen, I saw Bruce Brown when he was out there. He looked like he was still thinking about the missed floater from Game 3. Mike James, the moment's too big for him. Harden, even though he couldn't hit a shot, and I know we saw him throw the ball out of bounds, the ball bounced off his head. He made some good passes. He controlled things on offense, which is why it was so infuriating and just inexplicable.
I totally agree.
That they didn't make him guard Wilds. He couldn't move laterally. And they let him be a DH. That's on the Bucs. Like, it wouldn't have been this story of him playing 46 minutes if they would have hunted him defensively, like the way it, to me, seemed obvious they should have, Wilds.
You're right, Nick.
Yeah.
You're right.
Stack, can I show you exactly what Nick is talking about? It's in the fourth quarter, so James Harden has already played a ton. So not only injured at this point, he's also tired. And Drew Holiday just takes him off the dribble. And guess what? Remember, Brooklyn doesn't have anyone down there. This is as open as a layup gets. So then the next possession, Drew Holiday gets the ball, and guess what he does? Does he go at injured, tired James Harden? Nope. Step back three that bricks. Stack, give me a reason why the Bucs just didn't constantly target James Harden while he was on defense.
Because they stupid.
That's why I said Bud need to call one of the greatest coaches I've ever played for, one of the greatest coaches of all time, Greg Popovich. Because him and Dom Nelson, the two coaches I played for, my two favorite coaches, they exploited all mismatches at all times. I don't care who's on the court, what player you have on the court, we're exploiting the mismatches. And they should have made sure that they dropped that ball in the sweet spot, not outside the three, but right there in the mid-range, and give it to Drew and let him go at James. One thing about it, when we played against Steve Nash and Golden State with Don Nelson, Monte Ellis, Baron Davis, whoever was on the court, we posted Steve Nash up the first 10 plays of the game, regardless who was hot, because you have to exploit these mismatches, and Bud did a terrible job at that last night.
Terrible.
Stack, he doesn't have to call Greg Popovich. He can call your coach from high school. He can call Whoopi Goldberg.
He can call
from
me.
Her experience of Eddie. He can call anyone who was at the game and say, your high school coach is a Hall of Famer. I know. Yeah, absolutely. Hall of Famers, no doubt. I'm just saying, he could have called the drunk guy behind me at the game last night, who was like, doesn't look like Harden can run. No, he couldn't. What was happening? Like, what was happening? Now, if I sound like a guy that bet on the Bucs, am I a little upset? Yeah. But still, how do you let a one-legged man beat you? Like, Brandon, I don't. That's the thing is, I do feel like your example, Brandon, is one where you can be a decoy because it's hard to exploit you in another way. But when you got to defend, you just can't do it, and they didn't make him defend.
Bud, I got your back, Bud. Hey, listen, I know I'm going out this limb by myself. Everybody may crush me for this, but I got your back. Giannis is limited. All right, so we keep blaming Bud, coaching. You got the two-time MVP on your team. You need to do a little bit more. Stack, you talked about it, 41% from the free throw line. That's a problem. Chris Middleton is the guy that you have to lean on at closeout games. That's a problem when you have Giannis on your team. And then also when y'all talking about making these adjustments, what adjustments do you want this man to make? To me, it was brilliant. The Nets came out flat. They looked sloppy. Joe Harris probably gave the backboard 20 damn bruises. You look at the backboard this morning, the way he was shooting the ball. Thank God for Uncle Jeff Green. But when you look at what the Bucs did, they was leading by 16 points at halftime. They dominated this game through 3 quarters. And then all of a sudden, the Nets had one run. KD, they went on a tear for one time in that game, and then after that, it was lights out. So, yeah, they could have done a little bit more in retrospect, but man, through 3 quarters, it seemed to be working to me.
Right. It was working. So they kept the recipe cooking. But KD just turned on that blowtorch, and it's like, y'all got to get out the way, all right? Because things just get hot. Fire flame, baby. Yeah, it's your boy. Hey, Nick Wrong. Yeah, you just want Brooklyn to lose, period. Next round, you're going to be the same thing, bet against them, whatever. You're going to get your day. It's your boy Mullah. This week at that 5. I'll be back with another one. I'm out of here. Wow.